Hi there, Evan here at the Macrovoices for March 3rd, 2020, where that future starts today. Well, the Fed did their 50 basis point emergency rate cut. I had mentioned in my video last Friday, I had covered my shorts into the afternoon, expecting that central banks weren't going to sit back in the stock market declines. They were going to do something. Well, unfortunately, I was a day late. It didn't come over the weekend into Monday. It came actually on Tuesday. In fact, on Monday, we had the big run up as people were anticipating this. And then Tuesday morning at 7 a.m., they had their meeting. They made a statement. Nothing came out of it. And then out of the blue, a few hours later, the Federal Reserve announced their 50 basis point emergency rate cut. And then Jerome Powell, the chairman, had his 11 a.m. press conference in where, being kind saying this, it was a complete disaster. And once that press conference ended, you can see stock market took its big turn down after that. But I'm going to outline for you in this video why the stock market's reaction to the emergency rate cut is actually correct. In fact, Bloomberg has a great article out outlining the previous times the Federal Reserve has done emergency rate action. I'll leave a link to that article in the description box below. What I'm going to do in this video is show you the dates since 2001 where the Federal Reserve has done this emergency rate cut and show you why it hasn't led to good things in the short to medium term. Now, I'm going to overlay the dates for you. First, I'm going to go through 2001, which was the year after the NASDAQ tech bust. January 3rd, 2001. Fed did a 50 basis point emergency rate cut. Of course, this was right after the tech bust in 2000. People had to look at the 401ks, had to look at their RRSPs, had to look at their pensions, seeing they were in these tech stocks. They had all taken a massive hit. It hit consumer confidence, and it was hitting the real economy. April 18th, 2001, another 50 basis point rate cut for the same reasons. Now on September 17th, 2001, of course they did a 50 basis point emergency rate cut then, but of course that was 6 days after 9/11 and there were serious liquidity issues in the stock market. So that was the context behind that. And in fact, in late 2001, early 2002, guess what the global economy had? A recession. So there you go. Now let's fast forward in dates. This one is very important. August 17th, 2007. This is 8 days after August 9th, 2007, where the LIBOR rate spiked, which signaled a collapse in the US dollar liquidity system globally, which was the trigger for the global financial crisis in 2007 into 2008. Now again, the cause for this recession was subprime mortgages in the US that were bundled off and sold abroad. But the trigger that caused the recession was a collapse in US dollar liquidity. This is outlined greatly in Eurodollar University on Macrovoices over 2 separate seasons. I will leave a link to that in the description box below if you do want to listen and view that for yourself. Now moving on. January 22nd, 2008. 75 basis point emergency rate cut. In fact, the stock market had already peaked about 3.5 months before this. It was already evident at that point that the global economy was cratering into recession. Federal Reserve comes in, does an emergency rate cut. And this next date is very important also. October 8th, 2008. Of course, in September 2008 was the collapse of Lehman Brothers. Federal Reserve saw this. Federal Reserve saw that the entire global banking system was going down, so they go ahead and do an emergency rate cut. But by that point, we were already in a recession. In fact, by January 22nd, 2008, we were very close to officially being in a recession, if not already in one. And as I mentioned, the stock market had already peaked. Looking at these dates, you see the timing of these emergency rate cuts? The point I'm trying to get across is, it's desperation time. They know the economy's cratering. They know it's pretty much a formality we're heading into a recession, which I still believe is going to be known late 2020 into early 2021, the latest. But seriously, look at these dates. What does that signal to you? It's desperation. That's all it is. They know the economy is cratering, and they know there's a 99% chance there's nothing they can do about it. So this is their last heave-ho. This is their Hail Mary. Folks, that's all it is. Now, let's go to Canada. As I mentioned before in this video, there is a 70% chance now built into the market that the Bank of Canada is going to cut rates by 50 basis points tomorrow. And you can already see the narrative being pushed by the organized real estate mouthpieces. This is from B&M Bloomberg this morning. Virus-driven rate cut could add kerosene to housing market. Be prepared for this narrative to be pounded so far into you in the next couple of days, it feels like your head is spinning. Okay? That's how it's going to be over the next couple of days. Now, as I mentioned in previous videos on this channel, the first rate cut is going to start the real panic in the economy. Let me repeat this point. It's very important. The first rate cut is going to start the panic in the real economy. Forget even unemployment for a second. The first rate cut is going to cause Main Street to ask questions, such as, if the economy is so good, if what they're telling me is true, then why are they cutting rates? That Main Street will start asking. Now let's go on to unemployment. As I mentioned many times on this channel, in a couple of months in Canada, if that, Canadian media is going to have to announce that unemployment is up year over year in Canada. You think at that point Canadians are going to sit back and think, oh, how about those rate cuts? Things are great again. What? People are really going to say that? Really? As an increasing number of Canadians are losing their jobs, they're going to think about rate cuts? Really? I mean, when unemployment rises, what happens to lenders? What do? Think about it. They have to change their underwriting standards to factor in an increased chance for a job loss. No job, no mortgage, no home purchase. Simple as that. In fact, no job, no credit at all. Folks, it's really that simple. Oh, but the rate cuts, they're going to think about those. Get out of here. Now, folks, I could go on all day about this. I've been warning of not just a Canadian economic slowdown, but a global economic slowdown really since the third quarter of 2018. In fact, I've been warning about Canada since the fourth quarter of 2017, really. So all this happening now, if you followed me long enough, shouldn't be a shock to you. At the end of the day, what I've been telling you on this channel, and what the yield curve, look at the yield curve also. In Canada, our yield curve has been inverted for just over a year now. And as usual, it's the first one to the party and has it exactly right. The US yield curve inverted in the third quarter of 2019. Again, it was early, like it always is, and exactly right. But look, I can go on all day about how bad things are out there. If you follow me long enough, you already know. What I'm telling you is, no matter the narrative they're pushing you out there, Main Street will now start finding out. That's the point of today's video. And the panic out there is only just getting started. That's all I'm going to say for this video. Smash that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, follow both my accounts on Twitter. And as always, my name is Evan. This is the Macronicole, where the future starts today.